it's David and Christine. Follow us on our lifelong dream to retire to the Caribbean, own a home, and live the tranquil lifestyle.
Join us on our adventure of buying land, selecting just the right builder, and following the process from clearing the land to completed villa.
Villa en Sueno.
Good morning. We're down here at Sosua Beach. We decided, so we started walking again. It's been really rainy season here, so we haven't been doing a lot of walking, so we've been doing a lot more walking now. And we thought, oh, what the heck, we'll go down to the beach and do a walk, because our road is getting washed out on La Mulata, so it's really hard to walk on there with the traffic. So we're down here. We're not going to do a beach day because we have a lot going on in our villa right now, and we want to kind of stick around. If the guys need anything, or we have to kind of yay or nay something. We definitely are sticking around the villa more often these days because we're at the final stages. They are hooking up our power. May not have power today, but they are running the line. So we're getting close. We told our builder that we have one more week in our rental, and we need to get in our villa before Christmas. So fingers crossed if that happens. Good morning. We're here at Sosua Beach today. We're not spending the day. We decided to come down here for a walk. Definitely to get your exercise on around here. So we decided to come down here and do a walk and talk about a few things. We've surpassed our 400 subscribers, so we're a little late on that ball. But David's going to talk about a few things that we've kind of experienced here, and thought it might be good for people that are coming down here to maybe learn from our experience.
So yes, again, we'd like to thank everybody that has subscribed to the channel. Well over 400 now, and it's just blowing us away. We've had 2,700 hits on our last video. I attribute it to, I added some special effects to it, but Christine says it's because it's got a photo of her with a Presidente beer on the beginning.
Everybody likes the beer.
So anyway, so I thought I'd talk a little bit about some of the things that we've experienced that we've actually had a few ups and downs, and it's things that maybe people are thinking of coming here might want to keep in mind. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is banking. So in Canada, we have a Scotia Bank account that my pension money gets deposited into. They have Scotia banks here as well, but unfortunately the banking portion is not affiliated with Canada. So you're allowed to use the ATM machines without a service fee. But you can't use the actual banking unless you open an account down here. I've been told it's a little more intensive to open the account with the Scotia Bank than a regular bank. So we did open a Bank of Santa Cruz account. It wasn't that difficult, other than we spent about 2 hours sitting with the lady who didn't speak very much English, trying to sort through all of the requirements that we needed and get a small deposit made. But we use that bank card, now that we have it, for our purchases at the grocery stores pretty much. We use pesos to buy everything else because pesos they kind of rule down here. A lot of the resorts and excursions, they want you to pay in US dollars, but everybody else is pesos. So if you're coming here, we'd recommend that you bring more pesos than US dollars. Some of the experiences we've had with the ATMs with Scotiabank, we did try to use one at a Serena's grocery store in Puerto Plata, and went through all the motions to withdraw the money that I wanted to withdraw. It thanked me very much for my interaction with the machine, and proceeded to not give me my money and or give me a receipt. So I had to immediately call Scotiabank International. They created a search, I guess, as to what happened, and 30 days later we had the money deposited back into our account. So we would recommend not to use ATMs other than the ones that are at the actual Scotiabanks. Some people aren't really familiar with how you can access the money and in quantities that you need down here at the Scotiabank. So what we found is what you need to do prior to leaving your country is arrange with your bank in person to have your daily limit increased to as much as they will allow you to have on a full-time basis. You can always go in and ask for more for a 48-hour period, but if you're making purchases down here, large purchases like we have with a vehicle, with solar panels, with paying for an electrician to do some wiring for us, to have some extras, we needed to pay in large quantities of pesos. So you're allowed to withdraw 10,000 pesos per interaction at the ATM without fee. They'll try to tell you at the bank that you have a maximum of 5 withdrawals. Totally untrue, because we have gone and stood for an hour, and we've taken over 30 different withdrawals of 10,000 pesos. So our withdrawal limit for the day, we've had it bumped to $2,000 for myself and $1,000 for Christine, and we can always bump it up to 5,000 if we call them on the international line and ask for the increase to be made for a 48-hour period. So again, you can stand at the machine as long as you're not interrupting other people. You can keep hitting the maximum 10,000 pesos, which in Canadian dollars, depending on how crappy our money is, which is terrible right now, it's gone for us from $232 for 10,000 pesos to right now it was just over $240 for 10,000 pesos. And we have taken out our limits. Well, we had it bumped to 5,000 each one time, so we took out 10,000 Canadian dollars, which was, I think, 32 withdrawals from the ATM. Mind you, it took us over an hour to do that, and we had to be courteous and allow other patrons to jump in ahead of us, and we stood at the back of the line again. But there is a security guard at all of the Scotia banks, and
which makes you feel better.
Which, yeah, it's better for your security, and he just oversees to make sure nobody's ripping you off, and they don't have a problem with you standing there and taking as much money as you can get out of the machine. It does start out that we can get higher denomination bills, and we've actually drained the machine to the point where it was giving us very small denominations, and we had stacks like this of bills coming out, which you don't like to carry big stacks of money around like that, but that's something that has to happen. But again, so try to get your banking in order prior to coming here. You can open up bank accounts here, but there are some issues to do with that. You'll have to figure it out when you get here. We do recommend, if you're from Canada, to get a Scotia bank account.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about shopping here. When we first arrived, it was very overwhelming for me. Going into the grocery stores, because everything is listed in pesos. So when you're shopping, you definitely have to have your phone and have your conversion, so you can see what those pesos mean in Canadian dollars or US dollars, wherever you're coming from, or European. So now that we've been here, what, 3 months?
3 months, yeah.
3 months. I'm okay now. I use my phone on a regular basis. I check out the prices, but one of the main things that I've learned is you don't buy the brands that you find in our countries. They are 3 times the amount of money because they are shipped here and you pay for that cost. So there, you have to kind of shop around, but you can buy local brands, and I've been using them and I don't see really any difference. There are some people that say they don't like it. To each their own. They have like little, I forget what it's called, it's mayonnaise. I do that quite a bit because I do egg salad all the time. I've been doing the egg thing. And it's pretty reasonably priced, and it's way cheaper than you can buy your Hellmann's, I believe it's here. Hellmann's or Miracle Whip. It's quite a bit. It's well over $10.
Some people that like mayonnaise, they've said they don't like the taste of it, but Christine eats it with her egg salad. It disgusts me, but she loves it.
Well, you've never liked it.
I've never liked it.
But
so
they also have like your ketchup brands. So I haven't bought ketchup, but you can buy those things. So one of the main things that I'm going to stress is go in with some time to look around. Don't go in quickly and start grabbing those brands that you are used to, because you're going to pay way more money for them.
And you're going to be shocked when you see the overall total.
Yes. So have your conversion. They're also, especially if you go to Polero and Sosua, there are areas where you can scan the barcode and they'll tell you the price, because sometimes the price, they might have things in front of prices that don't belong there, so you got to watch that too.
And the other thing that we found to do with pricing, if you see something that's on sale that looks like an absolute scream of a sale, take a photo of it with your camera, and then when you go to the cash, keep a close eye on it when they ring it through, and then if it doesn't come in correct, show them the photo. They'll bring a manager over and they'll correct it, because it's happened to us more than once.
Yeah.
A lot of the times when they have their beer on sale, that's what they do, is they have it on sale in the store, but when it comes to the till, they haven't updated the computers to show that it's a sale item, and you get charged the old price. So you really have to watch sometimes.
So with that in mind, David and I are beer drinkers, so that is something that we hand rum, but we don't generally buy our beer at the local grocery stores. They are more expensive unless there is a sale. But we do go to the liquor store that is across from Bank of Santa Cruz. Generally there you can get things a little bit cheaper. So find that store if you're here for a longer period of time. If you're just here for a week and you're just going to buy beer, sometimes you just don't care, right? You just want to go buy it and be gone and enjoying your week. But if you're living here for longer term, you need to find these little areas that are a little bit cheaper where you can save some money. So
stuff like stuff like the vegetables and fruit. One of the grocery stores local has a Wednesday, they have a 30% off on their vegetables. We haven't taken advantage of that yet.
I think it's Tuesday actually at Valero.
Tuesday or Wednesday. It's one of the days they set it aside as a sale day for those products. But what we're finding is we're trying to source out locals. We have a Haitian Dominican guy that he's bringing us avocados today. We've had roadside fruit and vegetable stands where we've got bananas and limes. So we're trying more and more to source out the local vendors to try to get the better prices. We're also told, because we like eggs and bacon in the morning, the bacon here is extremely expensive in the grocery store, and it's always frozen. So what we've been told, and we haven't found it yet, the Colmado, which is the corner store, if you go first thing in the morning, they get their supplies in and you can get it cheaper than the supermarket for a pack of bacon. So we haven't done that yet, but we know that that's something we have to start looking into.
And you know, so we are buying eggs. We buy eggs probably about every third day because I'm doing hard-boiled eggs, plus we have eggs. And so we are big protein eaters. We got out of it for a bit, but we're back into it big time because we feel better, staying away from the carbs and things like that. So we do buy a lot of eggs. So we try and look for the better deals in that as well. We had gone to the local market, I'm not going to say where, and they had a flat of eggs, where a flat of eggs in the grocery store you're going to pay maybe 250 pesos, something like that. So I went,
sometimes on sale for 190.
Yeah, so you kind of have to watch for those. But when I proceeded to buy this flat of eggs, they wanted 600 pesos, which is, what is that, like 14?
I'll put the amount on the screen.
We'll do that later.
It's expensive.
I gave the eggs back. There's no way I'm going to pay 600 pesos for a flat of eggs, especially when we eat so many.
It was also at a higher end gated community, and I think they were pricing according to what they thought that they could get.
People would pay. I'm guessing people
and
might
some
pay.
people, yeah, some people I think would feel embarrassed to say no
I'm
to
apparently
a local.
not embarrassed.
And no, we're locals now, even though we got the gringo tag.
Yeah.
We're locals now because we live here, so we're going to try to get the best deals we can.
And we're living on a certain amount of income every month.
We have a fixed budget,
so we have to be careful. And when we go to the grocery store, I don't have the boys bag my groceries every day because sometimes I'm going in for 2 or 3 things. I bag it myself. I bring my own bag. We do tip. So we go out for dinner, we do tip. We are tippers. We appreciate the service that you get here. And we do, if we go get larger groceries, we do tip our guys there bagging the groceries.
Yeah, some of the places that are standard to tip are servers in restaurants, the bag boys at the grocery store. When we get gas, if he offers to wash our windshield, which is something that we don't usually get in Canada, you pump your own gas and you're done with it. If he offers to wash my windshield, I'm giving him a small tip, and they really appreciate it, and they actually remember you. So tipping is okay, but don't go overboard with your tipping. That's all.
And I want to say, you know, a lot of Dominicans get a bad rap here. We so far haven't really dealt with anyone who's done anything malicious to us, really, that we know of anyways. We find the Dominicans here are very nice. You walk down the street, they say buenos dias, you know, they smile. Not everybody, obviously, because you don't even get that in Canada either, so let's be honest. But overall, I find them very polite, and if you say buenos dias to them, they say it back. They are not rude, which we do find some other people are here. I'm not going to say who.
So experiences here, mostly positive, some negative. I'm not going to get into the super negative ones because they haven't been anything that's been the Dominicans that have caused us any issues. So one of the things that has happened to us, and I'll claim ignorance. I was pretty upset at the time, but got over it, and you learn from your lessons. So we did do a day trip into Puerto Plata one day, driving around town, and we smelled an absolutely fantastic aroma. It was a bakery. So we pulled to the shoulder behind another vehicle. There was some construction going on in the area, saw the workers working, and we locked our car up as we normally do. And we also noticed a Scotiabank, so we thought we'd take advantage of some withdrawals since we have to do so many withdrawals here. So we walked across the street to a supermarket, and we just looked at some prices in there. We walked across to the bakery, made some purchases, went over to the bank, made a few withdrawals, and I think it might have been 10 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
Maybe 10 minutes. And we came back to where our car was parked, and it was no longer there.
Yeah.
So I was freaking out. I obviously right away thought somebody stole my car. Some Dominican construction workers approached us and said, "Oh, no, your car was towed." So I tried to communicate with them as best I could, but I didn't have the Google Translate app on my phone at the time, which is very important to download it so that the languages that you want to translate to are actually downloaded. So if you don't have data, you still have the language and the ability to do a translation. I didn't have that with the app that I had, so it wasn't working properly. So there was literally no communication with the workers, other than that they kept saying, come with me, I'll take you to your car. And then a bunch of moto control guys, which is the motorcycle taxi guys, came up. They wanted to do the same, come with me. And I was like, oh, here we go, we're being scammed. So luckily we have a friend who speaks fluent Spanish, so she's my phone a friend. I got on the phone, I called her up and I said, girl, I don't know what's going on. Can you please speak to these fellas? Our car's gone, I'm freaking out. So she spoke with them, and she found out that the municipal police had towed our vehicle. They didn't say why, but the one construction worker said if they go with him, he has his vehicle there, and he will take us to where our car is, and he will talk to the police officers and try to figure out what the situation was and say it was a mistake and try to get us our car back. So we hopped into this vehicle with this fella, and he drove us probably 10 minutes through town down to where the boats dock, all the cruise ships, and right there was the municipal police station for Puerto Plata. So we saw our vehicle on the back of a flatbed, and we proceeded to walk into the entrance of the police station, and he tried to speak with the officer that was at the desk. A lot of Spanish was exchanged, and he basically said, I don't know what's going on, you're gonna have to wait. So again, I called our friend, and I was able to give the phone to the police officer. Now he was able to explain to her that we had parked inappropriately. So I didn't understand that. We had parked on the right hand side of the road. There was vehicles in front of us, behind us. There was no signage whatsoever. The curbs here, if it's a no parking zone, are normally painted yellow. The curbs were not painted, so we didn't understand. He said to our friend, oh, they were parked the wrong way. I said, absolutely not. We were with the flow of traffic. I was getting frustrated because I hadn't done anything wrong that I knew of. He said, you have to go pay the fine. You have to go to the city center. You pay the fine, you get a receipt, you come back, and you'll get your car back. So we proceeded to go with the young fella that had taken us there to the city center, another 10-minute drive. And we went in, a lady behind the desk asked, why are we here? He explained they're here because of a parking infraction. They had a set fine for a parking infraction, which was 2,500 pesos, about 53 bucks. I think it's 53 bucks. And I paid the pesos, got a receipt. He drove us all the way back. I paid the money. They stamped the piece of paper. Another officer came in. I asked if he spoke English, and he did. And I asked him, could he explain to me why I got this ticket and I wasn't parked inappropriately? He talked to his supervisor, and he said, I would have probably let you off with a warning and got your car back because you explained to me, what had happened where you had parked. He wasn't having any of it because he was the supervisor. It was his say. And apparently we parked in front of a dentist's office. So
which we didn't notice.
unbeknownst to us, we didn't know it was a dentist's office. We didn't know there was no
But we
parking
were
in
too
front of.
consumed about the smell of
The
bakery.
smell of the bakery.
We
We
weren't
didn't-
looking.
We didn't know that it was a no parking zone. So we're going to eat that one. So now when we park anywhere, we make sure it's an appropriate parking area. Park in municipal parking lots. They don't cost, it's like 100 pesos, which is Canadian, so like $2.50 for 3 hours of parking.
Yeah,
So we park there now. We make sure that there's lots of other people parking in the same area, and we try not to stay away from our vehicle for too long,
Yeah.
because you just never know who's going to come and scoop your car up.
It's not so bad here in Sosua. Because we're in Puerto Plata, I think it's a little more stricter there maybe.
And also probably because we're gringos, they knew that they could take our car and
So
get the money from us for the
obviously, yeah, the workers helped us. We did
Yeah.
give them a tip.
We
So
tipped the guy that took us to the station.
which, you know, they're probably, you know, obviously probably a little extra nice because, you know, we are considered tippers for sure. But you know what? I don't know what we would have done if they weren't there. So yeah, I'm grateful for what we had to pay. I think it was what, 20 bucks?
That was like, I think it's $50, around $53.
No, I mean for the
Oh,
tip.
for the tip, yes.
Yeah, it was around 20
Maybe
bucks.
20 bucks,
We
yeah. I
gave them
tipped
20
them well.
bucks. We're appreciative of all the help for sure because, yeah, it might have been a way worse for us. But anyways, that was our experience.
But lesson learned. That's
sure.
That's a tip for everybody if they come here.